What's up, guys? It's Casey and welcome back to my channel. So today I figured we do like a little chit chat, get ready with me. I also posted on Instagram to ask me anything. You guys asked me a few questions, but I just felt like this is the perfect opportunity just to kind of give you a life update, you know, just where I am in the last year. So today is actually October 18th. My birthday is October 20th. So my birthday's in 2 days. I will be 28 years old. And as I sit back and reflect on the last year of my life, I have to say, it has been wild. I want to say this has probably been the craziest year I've ever experienced in my life. And there has been so many adjustments. And so I just kind of want to sit down, do my makeup because I'm actually getting ready to film some content. So I figured, why not film me getting ready to film? Yeah, just chat with you guys. So before we begin, you guys already know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And turn on the notification bell so you're notified every single time I upload a new video. And let's go ahead and get started. As you guys know, I am pregnant, and right now I am having the worst acid reflux, like heartburn. It's all right here. So if you hear me like just making weird noises and just making weird faces, it's because it's killing me, but I really want to film. So I am trying to just push through it as best as I possibly can, but it is bugging me right now. So I don't really know what I'm about to do to my face. I'm not going to really talk too much about the makeup that I'm wearing because this is not about that. This is just about my life update. So yeah, guys, I am going to be 28 years old. I cannot believe it. I started my YouTube channel, I was like 19, 20. And here I am, still going, still doing it. I've been doing it full-time for 2 years now. I just cannot believe like so much time has gone and you guys have seen me just drastically change to an entire new human being. Like, I am nowhere near the same person that I was when I started my YouTube channel. I am nowhere near the same person that I was a year ago. So just to like jump right into it, the day of my birthday of last year in Puerto Rico was actually one of the worst days of the entire year. I'm not going to talk about it for personal reasons. Let's just say that. I'm not going to talk about why that is, but it really kicked off and set the tone of the year. And it was a huge domino effect, basically. Oh, I don't even know really how to talk about it without talking about it, but I just pretty much like this. I found out some very like unfortunate things that, you know, just really just turned my world at the moment upside down. And it was from then that I was like, okay, how do I now navigate this situation in a way that best suits me without the input of others? And that was like the first test of turning 27, because I have always been someone that cared a lot about what people think. And I'm not saying that I don't care anymore, because that's just unrealistic. Okay, if I didn't care about what people think, then I wouldn't stress over like algorithms and like I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wouldn't stress as much as I do. But like, I really wanted to go ahead and start to make decisions based off of how I was feeling and not how I thought other people would react, if that makes sense. And so that was the start of it. And literally 5 days later, probably was like okay, 5 days later was worse than my actual birthday. Okay, so if I had to put it in order of the worst days of my life or the worst days of the year, I would say October 25th was the #1 worst day in my 27th year. And then my actual birthday will probably be the day under it, like 1 and then 2. That day tried me. Okay, that day tried my like mental health to the utmost severity. Okay, and like I said, I can't really discuss why that is. You know, only like a handful of people know what I dealt with that day, but those handful of people know how like hard that day was for me. In that moment, I had to like really block out any background noise and focus on what it was that Casey wanted. I also had to take a look in the mirror and understand that a lot of my life decisions kind of like that moment was like kind of karmic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just was it was karma. Not saying I fully deserved it, but I also was able to be like, see, you know, this is why you have to be a good person, because look how it feels when things turn around and, you know, bite you in the ass. If you guys read my blog, I kind of like talked about it just a little bit about how like difficult. Did I talk about it? No, I did. Yes. Did I? Yes, I did actually talk about it. I talked about all of 2021. Like I was saying, that moment kind of made me reflect on who I am as a person, the decisions that I make. Why do I make them? What is triggering these decisions? You know, what part of like my childhood is it affecting? And just what is it that I want out of life? You know what I mean? And so that's when I decided to start therapy, and I started promoting therapy. And at the time I couldn't really afford it because I just was like, you know, learning how to handle adulthood by myself without the help of anyone or anything. And so I didn't have insurance at the time, and I was like, okay, let me just partner with a therapy platform so that way I can actually start taking, you know, going to therapy. And that's exactly what I did. So shout out to BetterHelp, because they wanted to partner with me. And, you know, at first they were just going to pay me for the partnership. But when we, you know, explained to them that I really was interested in going to therapy, they was like, yeah, of course. Like, you know, that's what we're here for. Like, here's, you know, 3 months. I think it was 3 months of free sessions. And that helps me out a lot. So I actually started my therapy journey, I think November or December. I wasted no time. Like, I was like, I need help. I need help navigating what it is that I'm feeling, you know? So comes December and I pretty much dive into work. And it was so interesting because my therapist, like, you know, she would talk about that. She was like, you submerge yourself into work when you are feeling, you know, kind of low and you need a distraction. And so it was funny because that was my first year doing Vlogmas, and I needed a distraction. I needed something to do, you know, on a consistent basis, something like a goal. Like I needed to achieve a goal to keep myself distracted from everything that I was feeling, because I was so depressed, guys. Like, you guys don't even know. I tried my hardest not to show it on camera and things like that, but I was so depressed. I was always crying. There was a part of me that just wanted to go home. There was a part of me that regretted moving out here. And I was like, I need to get away, child. I need to get away from Atlanta. I don't like it here no more. I was like, where I'm going next? I don't want to be here. And there it goes again, like me trying to run away from my issues instead of dealing with it head on. And also kind of like in a way putting the blame on like everyone else, opposed to just saying, hey, like it starts internally, and no matter where you go, you're going to have the same issues if you don't address the problem, if that makes sense. So at the end of December, I ended up getting COVID and it was bad. I was throwing up. I was super, super sick. I think I talked about that. And that was the reason why I couldn't finish Vlogmas, which was something that also kind of made me sad because I was so excited about it. And the fact that I didn't get to finish, like I felt like a failure. And I was like, damn, I failed at this, without even giving myself the credit and the grace that I got through 21 days. I missed 4 days, the last 4 days. I got through 21 days every single day posting content on Instagram and YouTube, which is not easy to do. And the only reason why I didn't finish is because I got sick. And so that was something else. And so, you know, at the end of the year, I said, you know what? I need to learn how to give myself grace, because it's like I can do all these really amazing things. And then I would still sit here and be like, that wasn't good enough. You know, I should have done this. I should have done more. I should have tried harder. Towards the end of the year, I really did see some of my issues, you know, whether it was like past decisions that I've made and how could I adjust them, and learning how to just be more patient with myself and, you know, giving myself that grace. I really, really did realize, okay, these are some things that are important to me that I need to work on, you know? And I told myself, okay, in 2022, that's what we're going to focus on. We're still gonna work hard. I'm not using that as an excuse to slack off, but we're gonna give ourselves grace. And when we are not feeling well, or when we are, you know, mentally going through it, it's okay just to take a moment and be like, I need a break. I'm doing the best that I can, you know? And I really had to sit here and think, okay, it's been a whole year of you living on your own. You've been able to maintain doing content full time, no other income. You did 21 days of Vlogmas. You did all of these things. Girl, be proud of yourself. And while I was dealing with all of this, one of the real deep rooted things that I was dealing with was the feeling of not being important in people's lives, feeling of being just disposable, that I did not matter. I lost friendships. I no longer speak to certain family members I had a close relationship with. And, you know, there was just a lot of different just issues that I was battling, and things that I don't want to talk about just because, you know, I don't want to put like everything out there, you know what I'm saying? But I was just feeling very disposable, and that was just one of the big things that I had to like try to work through. I genuinely felt like my life didn't matter. It mattered to me, and it mattered to like my mom, and that was it. Like, and I would say Sam, like that was it. Like, no, there was, to everybody else, like it didn't matter if I was alive or not. I don't want to get, bitch, don't you fucking do it, okay? Don't, hello. And obviously these are things that I'm still like working through, you know? Oh no, see, I shouldn't even be doing this while I'm pregnant, because obviously I'm gonna get emotional. You guys already know I'm a crybaby. Fuck out of here. Yeah, pretty much I just really went through a moment where it's like, it didn't matter if I was here. It didn't matter if I was a factor in people's lives. Like, I just didn't matter, you know? And it rooted back for years upon years upon years, and I really had to sit and figure out, why do I feel this way, you know what I'm saying? So I was trying to work through all of that in a place that still felt so foreign to me, because, you know, I'm not from here. I don't have all my friends here. I don't have like the people that I'm closest to here. And so it was a very, very difficult time. Bitch, fuck you. Okay. It was just a really difficult time, you know? Eventually, I started to feel like a little bit better, kinda. No, let me not lie like that. I almost lied to y'all. February, still difficult. February, I started to really recognize that I have daddy issues. Never thought that I did, but I do. Yeah, we'll just say that. And so I was dealing with that, and also it was the first time that I had a conversation with someone being my therapist, about when I was like 14, I was like in a relationship like a 20-year-old, literally a 20-year-old, and the emotional abuse that I went through in that relationship, and you know, being forced to have sex when I didn't want to, and like not realizing what that was back then and realizing it now. And she wanted me to talk to my mom about it. So that was, February was the first time I openly told my mom everything that I actually dealt with as a teenager that nobody really knew, only like a handful of people. And so that was hard. That was hard. And then I made stupid decisions off of being triggered, which then spiraled into like deeper relationship issues. And so shortly after that, come March, decisions that I made, decisions that Dominique made, like, you guys know we're not like super open, but we're pretty transparent about our relationship in this way. In March, we broke up, and that was really hard for me. That was really, really hard for me, because I was angry at him I knew that he like had, you know, some anger towards me a little bit, but I was angry at him, but at the same time just wanted to be with him and couldn't really understand why that was, or if that was the right decision to make. Like, once again, just being confused and just saying, oh, well, I've already told people that we've broken up, going back to that whole like caring so much about what people think, and it's just like I can't go back to that, even though that's what I knew that I wanted. So it was just like, it was just a lot of different emotions. And so I, you know, tried my hardest just to kind of like fight it. And you guys know, if you watch my vlogs, I've talked so much about our breakup, like on TikTok as well as on YouTube. I was vlogging heavy at that time. I was doing weekly vlogs, and so I would even come on my vlogs even if I was just upset and just crying, and I didn't go into detail of why we broke up, and I'm still not going to, especially not now, of course. But it was just really hard for me, and I would say hands down that had to be the hardest breakup that I experienced. I tried to mask it in the same way that I always do shit, okay? Following the same fucking habits, and my way of masking things is by being distracted, right? And I found that in a person that I shouldn't have been talking to begin with. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, you know what I mean? Because that person came with a lot of baggage, which then made my life spiral more out of control, okay? So we ain't even gonna get into all of that, but, you know, eventually, like, I realized, like, hey, like, Dominique is the person I want to be with. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what it looks like. Like, I want to be with this person. I love him, and I know that he loves me, and we are both two people in our 20s that make really stupid fucking decisions based off of trauma, based off of selfishness, based off of a lot of different things that didn't need to be done, but like, I just knew that it was something that could be worked through, but it was just gonna take a lot of work, and I was willing to put that work in, and you know, he was showing that he was willing to put that work in as well. And so we eventually like kind of rekindled our relationship, and then once we rekindled our relationship, I found out I was pregnant, and I was just like, oh my Jesus. Listen, hold on, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some eyeliner on and some mascara and lashes, and then we'll keep on talking once I start my face. Okay, guys, and I'm back. I did my lashes and liner and everything, but I also had to take a break to eat because my baby said he was hungry. I like to blame him when I just want to eat more food. And I feel like food's like my tea, so I need no judgment about that. Okay, so we left off talking about me finding out that I'm pregnant. So just like a quick recap, just to like refresh my memory. I was going through a bunch of different things. My mental health wasn't really in the right place. Me and Dominique broke up. We both started like, you know, dating other people, not relationships. We were just like dating, you know, going on dates or whatever. I wanted him back. He wanted me back. Boom, we get back. Oh, I get heat damage. Okay, that's before the pregnancy. I get heat damage, which really like pissed me off. Like, you guys know that. Like, that really did something to me. Like, it was just like, come on. Like, can I just win in something, you know, for a moment that happens, and then I get pregnant. And so everything just like, I felt like everything just happened so damn quickly. And I was just like, what's going on now? Don't get me wrong. And if you guys haven't seen our video where we talk about the pregnancy and stuff like that, we were happy, okay? We were definitely happy. It was like no regrets kind of thing. It was definitely something that we always said that we seen. I kind of feel like we manifested it in a way because jokingly, we had our names in our phones as baby father and baby mother. And the reason for that is because, you know how, like, in some cases, not all cases, like, you just feel like you just can't get, it's mostly women on here, so you feel like you can't get rid of your baby father. Like, you always gonna have love for him, and, you know, in some type of way or whatever. It's just like, y'all always gonna have some type of connection, whether y'all on good terms or not. Not everyone, but some people, and that's how I feel like we were. And I was like, I swear you're like my baby father. Like, I can't get rid of you, and I will always have love for you. I just have it without the kid. And it was like we manifested that because having that name in our phone, he really became my baby father, and I really became his baby mother. So I got pregnant. Boom. And the day that I found out that I was pregnant, life had turned upside down once again. So I don't know if I've talked about that a little bit. I think I have. I don't know. But remember when I was saying that I was, you know, seeing someone during the breakup that I probably shouldn't have been seeing, and his baggage like trickled into my life. Let's just put it like that. Like, his baggage really came and disrupted everything that I worked hard for, even though him and I were not a thing anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we literally just wasn't a thing anymore. His baggage really came and fucked with me, like OD. And I really had no other choice but to file a restraining order, because I was being harassed by someone in his life for like, what was, like 3 months, however long me and Dominique were broken up, for like 3 months or whatever. Like, unprovoked, like completely unprovoked. And I was just being harassed, and I just would let things go. And once again, I literally, I would tell you guys the whole story, but I can't. Like, I was told by the judge I can't. So yeah, I can't even like tell you who it was or anything like that. Yeah, I have to file a restraining order. So I'm freshly finding out that I'm pregnant. So obviously I'm dealing with all that, you know, like morning sickness and all this other stuff. Dominique is pissed at me, okay? And I just felt like, bro, what the freak is going on in my life? Like, I just like, I don't understand, like, why can't I just get a grip? Like, why can't I just be okay, you know? And so, once again, it was like also a moment of just like reflection, like, okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, Casey? Like, what changes do you really seriously need to make in order to find some sense of peace and happiness? So not much time had passed, and me and Dominique, you know, we got back on good terms. We had an understanding, and we were just kind of like, bro, no games, no more games. We cannot afford to play games. Do you want to live a life of misery? Because now we are in a situation where we are stuck together. Not stuck together, but we like are bonded by this thing. Do we want to like keep being childish, or do we want to like actually grow up? So obviously we chose each other in this situation. Like, us being together and being happy and in a loving relationship is more important than anything. And also bringing our child into a loving household is more important than anything. So at that moment, we really had to like look at each other and be like, okay, this is my own internal problem. This is what I have a problem with you, and vice versa. How do we fix it? We had to lay everything out on the table, and we had to like adjust our own internal issues, figure out, you know, okay, what do I need to do to not only fix myself, but fix this relationship? And pretty much that's where we are now. We kind of like briefly discussed it in the announcement video, where we've like mastered friendship. Like, we are the best of friends, but now we're like really mastering in our relationship. And I do want to say that this is the happiest I've ever been. Like, I don't want to say it took me getting pregnant, but it kind of did take me getting pregnant for us to be like, oh, okay, hold on. Life is real. And what the freak do we want out of it? And we came to the conclusion that we want each other, and we want each other in a very loving, happy relationship, and we want a family dynamic. We don't want to go the co-parent route. Like, that's not what we are aiming for right now. So, you know, in order for that to work, we really have to take it serious and do the necessary steps to fix it. And I do want to say, since then, like I said, it's been the happiest I've been. Pretty much where I am right now, I would say that's been an ongoing thing from like the very end of June, I'll say early July, up until now in October. But pretty much now it's just, you know, preparing for the arrival of our son. I mean, there was some other stuff that I have really dealt with since being pregnant, which goes back to my health, you know, finding out that I have these ovarian cysts again, that I have to get surgery literally 6 weeks after I give birth. And it's just like, damn. So 6 weeks after I've healed from, you know, giving birth to an entire human, I have to then have surgery, and now I have to go through the process of healing again with a newborn, which freaks me the heck out. I have to move out of my apartment, and you know, by the time you guys see this, we'll have an answer, but we just applied to an apartment that I really, really want to live in. So I'm just praying on the approval of that. But anyway, I have to move at pretty much 7 months, almost 8 months pregnant, which is going to be exhausting, of course, and probably really taxing on my mental health. And so I'm just trying to prepare for that. And I'm also just trying to find healthier ways to deal with those things. I will say, because of my condition, I was completely terrified of possibly having a miscarriage. And so I really had to work on my stress levels. I had to really tap in and be like, okay, what is stressing me out? What type of things stress me out? How do I react to stress? How do I react to conflict? And how can I adjust? And it's been working. It really, really has, because usually I would lash out. I would overwhelm myself. Like, I would really like freak the heck out. And I've been much, much calmer now. Like, if there is an issue, whether that's within my relationship, whether that's within myself, you know, no matter what, normally I'll like be wailing, to be honest with you all, but I haven't been like that. I've been so calm and peaceful, because I know it's bigger than me now. Like, girl, you can't handle situations the same way you used to, because you have a little human growing inside of you, and pretty much his life depends on how you treat yourself. You know what I mean? So I've been doing so much better, and I really, really would love to take that with me, like, after the pregnancy. I don't want to be like, okay, I'm not pregnant no more, so I can go back to my old ways. Like, no, absolutely not. I've worked really, really hard at my communication skills. I've worked really, really hard at learning to love myself more. I've worked really, really hard at, you know, understanding that everyone's decisions and what, you know, even if it affects me, it's not my fault. If that makes sense, that, you know, I don't have to blame myself for other people's decisions on how they want to handle things. I will say, like, my son, and just saying that is so crazy to me, but my son has been such a blessing already. He has taught me so much already, and he's not even here yet. And I do understand that life is going to be hard, and motherhood is hard, parenthood is hard, and, you know, now will be the first time me and Dominique's gonna live together once, you know, this apartment thing happens and whatnot, and, you know, brand new challenges. We were just talking about it, like, we've never had to discuss our finances because it wasn't our business. Your bills is your bills, my bills is my bills. We don't live together. Yeah, we spend a lot of time together, but we don't live together. But now that's something that we'll have to discuss. And, you know, we've had conversations about that. We had conversations about our expectations when we live together, okay? Like, is it going to be different than how it is when you're here for like a week or two? Because when he's here, it's freaking fantabulous, okay? Fantabulous. Like, he helps me out around the house and all the other stuff. I'm like, am I going to be feeling like I'm doing all the work? And, you know, I let him know my fears on that, because I have lived with somebody for 5 years. He has lived with somebody before for, like, I think a couple of months or whatever. So we have our fears and our reservations, but we're addressing them now before we even live together, so we know what the expectation is once we're in the situation, if that makes sense. And obviously some things are going to shift, because once the baby's here, we're going to be like, okay, hold on, I thought this might be a little different. But yeah, so I pretty much said all that to say this year has been crazy, okay? So crazy. And I feel like every decision I've ever made in my life and everything that's ever happened to me in my life kind of showed itself in this year alone, and really put me to the test on how I plan on growing from it. And I do feel like I am a totally different person. Like, I really, really, really do. And I also realize that I am a very strong individual, okay? I am a strong individual because I've been through a lot. I would never forget that day where I was on the phone, well, you know, in my therapy meeting, and my therapist was like, you've experienced so much trauma for one person, so much trauma. And I broke down crying, because she was right. And I've always tried to, like, just like pretend I didn't, because I'm like, oh, you know, there's so many people that have it worse. But one thing I try to preach to people is that just because somebody else has it worse, you know, there's always going to be somebody that has it worse than you do. That doesn't take away from your experience, you know, and it's okay to not be okay with the things that you've experienced just because it might not be, you know, as bad as somebody else's or whatever the case might be. It's okay. It's okay to still say, I've been through some shit. It may not have been as bad as the next person, but I've been through some shit and it hurt me and it, you know, caused me to have childhood trauma or PTSD or whatever. Which I found out I had like that too, like real life PTSD. But like, you know, just a whole bunch of stuff, guys. Like a whole bunch of stuff, you know. So I really do recommend, like, if you can, go to therapy. I'm not in it anymore. I wish I was, especially now with me entering this new part of my life. I swear, if I spoke to my therapist and she would find out, because I think my last session, me and Dominique had just broken up. So if I was to tell her, like, yeah, girl, we got back together and now I'm pregnant and I'm having a baby and all this stuff, she'd be like, what the hell? What the hell happened? Yeah, go to therapy if you can, because it's going to help you really recognize a lot of things about yourself. A lot of things about yourself that you probably wouldn't have paid too much attention to without it. So yeah, guys, this year was just so much self-growth, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing a few key moments, but that was just like the gist of it, which is also like kind of, I hope you guys can kind of understand why I take the breaks that I do off of social media, because it is so hard for me to give myself when I'm going through all these things, when I'm dealing with all this, because I am just somebody that if I am sad, I have to just disconnect from the world. I either have to dive into work completely or I have to disconnect. But because work for me is something so like public, if you will, and I always try to be as transparent as possible with my life and my experiences, is like when I'm going through these things, it's hard for me to just jump on and be like, hey, I'm going through all this stuff, you know. I could do it once in a blue moon, but sometimes it just becomes way too much, just way too much. And when those moments happen, I just try to take a break and, you know, gather my thoughts and gather all my feelings and find a way to push through when it's time to, because I still have to work. It's not like I could just disappear for the rest of my life. I got bills to pay, y'all, and I don't want to go back to a 9 to 5. I really don't. So gotta keep pushing through. And that's why I'm happy I have the manager that I have, because she is so understanding and she knows about all of this stuff when it happens, like all the crazy emotional things. I tell her because I really do want her to understand when I'm just not feeling it, and for her to, like, I guess, be that support, like, okay, no worries, like, you don't have to, you know what I mean? I'm going to tell, you know, this brand that you can't, like, I've pulled out of campaigns before because of just my mental health, just not being there, and it's hard for me to get on camera and smile and pretend everything's okay when I'm just not feeling okay, you know? I hope that gives you guys a better understanding. I'm not lazy, I swear. Well, I'm a little lazy, but I'm not really lazy. Like, I'm not bad. You know, some people are just, like, bad. Like, I am the right amount of lazy, okay? Like, I want to edit from my bed. Like, I don't want to sit up and edit, but I'm going to edit. I'm going to get it done. So I feel like, you know, it's a balance. It's definitely a balance. Also, I want to say there was like a point where I just also hated producing content because I was so tired of TikTok, but that's neither here nor there. Like, I was just so tired of the damn short form content, y'all. It was just annoying. Like, I don't want to do stuff like that. I want to do stuff like this. And so I had to tell myself it's okay to not do what everybody else is doing. Do what the heck you want to do. And here I am doing what I want to do. It works for me. And I'm going to keep doing that. Okay? Period. All right, guys, I am going to go ahead and finish beautifying myself, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, and I am back, and this is the finished product of our little chit chat get ready with me. If I'm being honest, the dress that I had on is wrapped around my waist right now because, like, none of my pants fit. So I just have on a cute top and, like, a dress on the bottom. Looks very funny. But that's just for some transparency for you. So yeah, guys, that is going to conclude today's video. I hope it gave you a little bit more insight of everything that I experienced experienced in the last year. And I know a lot of it was more negative, I feel like. There was definitely some positive moments, but I try not to think of it as negativity. I try to think of it more so as lessons and moments to like open my eyes in how I can flourish and create new boundaries and create new healthier habits, and how I can just be the absolute best version of myself. So I am very much ready for year 28. We already know it's going to be a very different year for me. It'll be my first year being a mom, and just things are going to begin to look really different. And I hope that I, you know, continue on the path of growth, continue on the path of giving myself grace, and just, I don't know, prepare myself. I don't know. There's something I always say, there's something about the year 30 that I feel like is going to be so freaking magical. Like the best year of my freaking life. And I don't know, maybe all these things are, oh, my son's kicking. And maybe all of these things are preparing me for that. I always say you change every 7 years. You know, you can divide 7 into 28. And yeah, maybe this last year was like the hardest one to get me ready to be the new person. I hope all that makes sense. And if you guys feel me, if you guys have went through some crazy stuff and you just want to share, or you just want, you know, whatever it is, leave a comment down below. I love you guys so much. I hope this video entertained you in some type of way. I have a meeting in how many minutes? Okay, 10 minutes, cool. I hope this video was entertaining in any kind of way. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I am trying to bulk film, okay, so I can stop disappearing. I filmed 2 videos the other day. I'm filming like 2 or 3 today. So hopefully there'll be some new videos for you guys soon. But yeah, guys, I love you so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.